Hello and welcome back to Ruler Waves 3, playing as Japan on Super Large Plus Plus starting 1890. This is episode 58. We are at peace, thankfully, and we have made it to 1930s, 1930, January. So we are at the midpoint of the game. We are playing until 1970, not any longer, because that's just where it gets really boring. I think I proved that with my France playthrough. It's just not fun. Yeah, so it's time for the start of year review and a 5-year review and some planning, and then we'll play. So let's jump in. So back to PowerPoint. So let's start with the analysis of 1930, or the start of year analysis, I should say. War, peace? No. The political war status is that it's peace. I think I need to reformulate that. I have an alliance with Great Britain. I'm interested to see how long that lasts. We are buddies now, but I do control several territories that traditionally upsets Great Britain, and often these alliances started during a war. I have this feeling that they usually lapse much quicker than those 5-year alliances you get normally, but we'll see. Tensions are low across the board, except my tension with Italy. That is good. We want some tension. We don't really need another war. Germany is upset with France and Russia, no surprise there. Great Britain is not upset with anyone in particular, so we still have Nazis, we still have commies. Nothing happened to the communists when the government fell in Soviet Russia. I have lost count of my stolen texts. I will, instead of counting them, I will try to include whatever was stolen in the lineup. Yeah. We are still at 70,000, but at least I started building. So let's get the race going again. Building is okay. Unrest is okay. And I don't expect it to rise because our budget modifier is a moderate 14. Yes, but we had a very good year in terms of resource growth. Actually, we had 1 year about when was it? I can look up my spreadsheet, of course, but my best year was 1913. That was 1840 resources. But as you can probably guess, that's the war reparations kicking in. That was 13 from the separate piece with Russia, wasn't it? And 2 leftover points from the general piece, if I remember correctly. We also got bumped up in colonies. So we're up to 45,000 in total here. That's pretty darn good. It's behind the US, but it's not that far behind. But of course, the US tends to continue accelerating. Yeah, budget is down overall, of course, because we went down from like 19 or 20 to 14. So that's to be expected. But I would say this is more than offset from maintenance construction. Now construction is almost 34, while upkeep is down to 13.5. So this is actually excellent. I wish my funds were a little higher, but okay. Not too shabby. We're back to having a stable economy. In the A tier, as you can see, we were briefly ahead of even the US in monies, but they have reclaimed their spot, and also Germany got a little bump there, and Great Britain is just behind us, so I'm guessing their budget modifier is 15. This is probably 17, maybe? But the AI will always get more monies, so it couldn't last, definitely not. Fleet size is, I would say, adequate. I'm on par with Italy and France, but qualitatively I have the edge, but I am well behind Germany and well behind the US. So Great Britain is still recovering from her massacre in the Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia. So, yeah. But at least she doesn't have very many old ships. So, the stuff that about the fleet, I have my 14 battleships, but only 4 of them are 16 inches. So the rest are slow 14-inch ships. I have 4 slow battlecruisers, but I have 8 fast battlecruisers, but only 4 of them are 16-inch. But I'm building 2 new fast 16, and these are really fast. These are 31 knotters. I have 2 CVs building, that's good. I have 4 light cruisers building, and I have received my first modern light cruisers, the first pair. Not building any destroyers, need to get going. Building a lot of subs, because we got an event that bumped me up slightly. That was probably what triggered the AI to reevaluate its budget modifier. I got +1, then they had the opportunity to get more. Now, it's a bad year for research, but we did get oxygen torpedoes, and I guess dive bombing as a role. Torpedoes are, I would say, better at this stage, but yeah, we'll add some dive bombers for flavor reasons, I would say. And also because it's always good to drop bombs on stuff. Yeah, I think 10% will do now. There aren't that many techs coming. I think 10 with our very large economy base should be more than sufficient. Aircraft, well, there is some development. We got a better fighter, but it's still firepower 3. But it's not, I mean, it's not bad, but not good. We have a new scout Hondo in the works, so maybe it won't be poor. Who knows? Maybe the new fighter also won't be poor. The medium bomber, still awesome for the time. It's a D model though. We have a new torpedo bomber that's not really that good, and it doesn't have firepower 4, so kind of sad, but yeah. So the summary. The quick facts: we are up in resources by 13.6%, so 42 and something. Possessions, we have grabbed a few additional possessions, but we have also gone down because of colony adjustment, so the net gain is very minor. Budget is, well, up slightly, but Bud Mod is down, so that's not really relevant, but you get the general picture. We have had a very long war, and budgets haven't been sky high, so but we have managed to grow our fleet by 25%, and the quality is as good or better than ever. Global tensions are low, but we have decent tension with Italy. We have an alliance with Great Britain, and we have fought a total of 7 wars by 1930. Not much has changed since 1925, actually. We are in the same geostrategic position. We have grabbed a single weak holding in the Northern Pacific, and we have total control of the Central Pacific, but that's not a huge deal. I am kind of hoping to use the Central Pacific to at least have some combat potential against the US. They have gone to the Central Pacific on occasion, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So not a lot has happened. I spent much of the 20s, both the first 5 years and the second half, fighting. So we are a little bit tired of fighting. You can see there are some gaps in my empire here. I have possessions ranging from the South Pacific to from Polynesia to Iceland. That's a pretty big spread. But the heart is, of course, this axis from Northeast Asia to the Indian Ocean and into the Med. Yeah. I have a combat effective fleet, I would say. I am definitely not in the S tier. That's only for the US. So I'm in the top with Japan, Germany, and Great Britain. Trio of second-rate naval powers. Then you have a gap: France, Russia, Italy. I mean, I could rearrange it, but it's supposed to show that there is a fairly large gap in capability. But France and Italy have managed to amass pretty big fleets. But I would say that Great Britain and Germany are actually quite a bit stronger than Russia, Italy, and France. So these were the plans for the 20s. These are not the new plans. These are my plans. So how did we do? Just 1 second. Okay. It's the damn allergy again. Yeah, we have expanded quite a bit if we count 20s overall. The past 5 years, not so much. We also haven't really expanded our fleet bases or our air bases for the past 5 years. So that's, yeah, we are transitioning, but we haven't really built that many ships. I kind of stopped building at the point I got lost in wars and stuff. We are back on track now, but yeah, especially the second half of the 20s turned into something of a black hole that we are slowly digging our way out of. So not my proudest moment there. I think I was getting complacent, a bit overconfident after so many victories, and then I got mildly frustrated, I think, with Germany, and yeah, it sort of lost focus. So this shipbuilding, that's kind of in priority order, I think. So let's go through those. Partially transition, not fully. Create the CV force to be fully operational. Yeah, kind of. We will have 2 light carriers and 2 full carriers. So whether or not you count that as a fully operational CV fleet, I don't know. But we'll have something. We have, of course, not had the money to build any heavy cruisers. We have started building light cruisers, so that's good. 2,000-ton destroyers, general refits. Yeah, well, we haven't refitted anything, and we have barely started scratching the 2,000-ton destroyers. We did get wars, but they were not especially quick. But we did get territories and good reparations, so other than not being quick, yeah. We did get the war against Russia, so yeah. And we did get everything except Alaska, so I guess we did actually accomplish quite a bit, but we could have accomplished more with better focus, so lessons learned. Yeah, so this is much the same. I didn't quite reach all my goals in the 20s, and we have refocused now, so this is more of an adjustment. I don't see myself expanding too much in the 30s, but if war strikes, we'll grab some bases. We don't need more monies, I think, so we are clearly the second strongest economy in the world. That's not going to change, so, and we are not going to catch up to the US anyway, so there is no point trying. So basing is actually the most important part now. And we also need to think more and more about air bases, especially in, I guess, key areas of the Northeast and Southeast Asia, but primarily in places like the Med, because if we get into a war in the Med, then we will definitely need land-based aircraft. Now, I've basically shifted a full CV force to 1935, so we need to build, once the first 2 carriers clear their slipways, we will build more. We must continue going to 16, eventually 18 for the battleships, I think. We had some interesting designs there, but otherwise 16 looks like we're going with the 16 quality 0 guns in this playthrough. More light cruisers, more destroyers. Then we'll talk about refits. And last and least, heavy cruisers. I still want to build a few, but how do I get the monies? no more war. That's obviously not going to be true for the entire 10-year period. But yeah, let's not try not to get involved in more eternal wars. Let's proceed forward and try to play the game without fighting everyone all the time. We could still fight the Russians. We could get Alaska and Maine, possibly. That would be hilarious. China is an alternative. Probably not going to happen. I will be very careful not to get involved. A Mediterranean war, actually, that would be fun. Against Italy or France. That could give invasion opportunities, land-based air. I would have to manage my fleet size in the Med against nations that have home area there. So next up is how do we get to the Caribbean? But I don't think that will happen during the 30s, maybe in the 40s. We'll see how this goes. So let's play some Rule the Waves. We should probably go to Doctrine immediately and use oxygen-fueled torpedoes on DDs. Now, I usually turn it on cruisers as well, and then regret it. I never use it on capital ships, but let's start with using them on DDs. That's fine. Nothing else I want to change, so let's close that one and save. I think research is fine. Could actually take some of this down, but yeah, let's just keep it. Let's not micromanage. Before proceeding, I'm building docks. I think I started building some forts. Did I? Or did I not? Airbases. Airbase. Hawaii Airbase. Yeah, Hawaii has coastal batteries. But Aleutians? What about Aleutians? They don't have anything. What about Midway? Midway is building a battery. Okay. So let's start then by building a 4-inch battery. We inherited an airbase as well. We inherited a lot of airbases. Now, looking at the almanac now, we can see that the US is still heavily invested in 14-inch ships, but you can see this 26 knot 40,000 tonner. They are definitely going 16 inches now. 16 inches. Decent belt now. This is and good armor tech. So this is starting to be not immune to lighter weapons, but those 14-inch ships definitely not going to compare too well to this. They are still sticking to 15-inch, I mean, on the battle cruisers, but these are fine ships, 40,000 ton. This could be 16 inches, we'll see. They don't have too many barrels on these modern ships, though. 8 mostly. So. Lots of fast light cruisers. These are even 33. Not sure what they are supposed to do, but well. And they are getting some. They have one actual carrier. These are not real carriers. It says CV, but if they have 31 aircraft, they are useless. And there are quite a few decent destroyers here, but they are mostly going with 4-inch guns. So I think I have a pretty big advantage in that case. But I think actually Germany has perhaps the finest ships at the moment. This is a big ass 16-inch with good tech, good armor tech, and 14-inch belt, probably heavy deck and so forth. So that's not a bad vessel at all. Their battle cruisers are somewhat slow, but you can see they are coming in with 16-inch guns. All forward is unfortunately not good for the AI, but what can you do? So that's the status, so to speak. So yeah, manically hit save again and turn. So we have finished the battery in Midway and Hawaii and Hawaii and Hawaii. A revolution in a Chinese province has left some of our national stranded. What do? We must do something that does something for the budget. So this is bad. This is interesting. This is perhaps even more interesting given how low tensions are, and we are just post war. So let's do that. Aviation pundits are ecstatic. Welded hull. When new float plane is ready. So France and Germany got upset, and Great Britain also got a little bit upset. There are pros and cons to being allied with Great Britain. It really helped during the last war because obviously we couldn't have blockaded the Russians with such ease without their alliance. So maybe that was a mistake to antagonize them, because now we are already at 2. Now we are at 3. 2, 2, 2, 2. No, it doesn't even say. I think that's 2. Yes, it's the same as the US, so 2. They don't like to maintain the alliance if you get too high. Maybe that was a mistake. But we'll see. Yoshino. Now we have +1 fleet morale. That is, of course, incredibly important at this stage. I think I remembered to put my... No. Yes, that light cruiser is almost done now. Then we have 6 of the new ones. It's criminally expensive, but having 2 battle cruisers with speed 31, that's not really useful. Okay, so did we get some AA text that reduced our deck load, or was I not paying attention? No, I think we must have had, because now we are up to 290. Still can't reliably do that. Uh, 7 14-inch guns, but it's very fast though. Welded hull. Get the welded hull. Is it worth it? Pointless. We have more ammunition. Why not? We could have made it smaller, cheaper. That is also an option. uh, Hey, more money! Uh, budget and tension, yes, please. 766 400. Now we're talking. Wait, the request in progress. Make the agent a hero. The rate of fire. Improved hull allows triple turrets in all positions regardless of speed and TPS. Now we can make an actual Yamato. Okay, let's look at our construction queue here. Foreign station. So this is actually doable. It's not cheap, but it's not horribly expensive. 12 months at 1800. Something that could be relatively not modern, but we have a secondary director here. We could do a lot of stuff, I would say, but no, 30, yes, right. Definitely possible, and we could do something similar for the Kitagamis. Yeah. Or should I get started on more new builds? Let's look at my destroyers. 46 tons. That's quite a bit. Yeah, we have somehow freed up more deck space so we can have mines. And let's try not to do too many things at the same time. Now we actually have it's too heavy as I expected it to be. Well, no, that is heavy topside. Medium AA. Or nah, that's not worth it. And should be sufficient. But that's pointless. Oh. 11 guns. Odd number to have. Yay! Minor. Yay! Firepower 4. Speed. Okay, the range isn't that different, so let's do that. Range. We got an improved model of the one that we're phasing out. Okay, so the net loss here was about 0. We got a budget decrease and then a budget increase, but again, it proves that we need something with yellow. Hmm. Yes, thank you. Very good. I likes. It would be better to have high tensions with one nation. But, we're almost there. We are almost there when it comes to carriers, so we can start building some new carriers as well. I think we will at my design for the B. Oh no, 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 we never actually did the BB 1927. Hursan. Open. We could potentially make it a long range diesel thing, which could become very convenient later on, but then we would have to wait for 1 more month. Let's absolutely do that. Nothing wrong with saving up a little bit of money. You know what? The diet can go. Disarmament conference. Budget. Bastards, you took my money just when it was starting to get funny. Let's look at the Huzan again. If we bump it up to this, we can go diesels. I like diesels. And long, you might consider it wasteful, but I think it can be useful. All of this stuff seems fine. There isn't anything in particular we want to do here. This is now too much. This tonnage here is, yeah, we can. Okay, let's make it as big as we can. That's legal. We got the 18-inch guns. Yeah, that doesn't help then. Nothing will. Can do 120 rounds. It is now the 1931 Huzan. Save and finish. It's 1931, so I suppose we should do another quick review, although I don't really see the point. I guess we'll have to do it anyway. And that concludes episode 58. It wasn't the longest, it wasn't the shortest. We got through 1930. Tensions are on the rise, actually, so soon after the last war. And we are no longer allied with Great Britain, so that's one is out the window. So who knows what will happen in episode 59, so stay tuned.